Hey guys, this is Cardella from Cardella.tk. Today what I'm bringing you is a 2-axis gimbal I got off eBay. Now what you can see here is that it stabilizes in the pitch and roll axes, but not the yaw. So no matter where I'm pointing the front of the quadcopter, it'll track. But as I shift to the left and right, as I strafe with the quadcopter, or as I go forward and backwards, you don't see any change there. It almost looks like the videos are fast forwarding at some points, which is kind of a neat effect. It's startlingly stable too. There's a point in this video where I just, for about 5 minutes, tried to run the quadcopter as rough as I could, just burning straight through the battery pack, and it would not lag behind. It was constantly as though the camera were locked parallel to the ground. Here I've provided some unstabilized footage to compare with the stabilized footage. Now you can see as I accelerate and decelerate, there's a jerkiness. The camera pitches up and down. Here's some stabilized footage. Notice how it doesn't jerk around. Here I've sped up the video to 4 times the normal rate, and it especially becomes apparent how jerky the video is without the gimbal. One of the downsides of this gimbal is that it does add a lot of weight. Unfortunately, I think this kind of locks my my LSU my LSU quadcopter, whatever you guys want to call it, into an aerial photography platform role. I'll no longer be able to use it for the same kind of barnstorming as I would with a 250, which is okay because I do have the 250 for that, the FPV 250. The gimbal was pretty cheap. It was about $40 or $50 off of eBay, free shipping from New Jersey. For that price, I can't really complain. It doesn't have any noticeable difference in quality, at least to me, for my applications, than higher quality $200, $300 gimbals. If you overrun the limit, or if you touch the camera whatsoever, it will begin to shake. You can see that a couple times when I'm testing it out. I'll bump it, or it'll hit the limit of its axes, or limit of rotation, I suppose, and it'll start to shake. In terms of how much setup it took, I had it in a box that it came in. Once I took it out, I was able to plug a mini JST connector directly in with my GoPro strapped in, and straight out of the box it was stabilized. That was a really neat thing to see. I had to swap the plates around a little bit to get it to mount as a forward mount on my LSU quadcopter, but after I made the necessary modification, just undoing a couple screws and then rescrewing it on in a different manner, it worked like a charm. I see there is a micro USB port on there, however, I haven't had to mess with that yet. Some people have said that they need to flash new firmware onto the controller board, that kind of thing, and so far I haven't had to mess with that in the slightest. I'm amazed how steady some of these shots are. With a little bit of throttle going up real slow, with a little bit of yaw, it really adds a cinematic, almost panoramic touch to shots, and I really appreciate that, and I think a lot of people do like to see footage like that. Something I find really cool is that when you first power on the gimbal, it takes a second for the camera to actually be stabilized, and you can also see when you unplug the power how the gimbal will just start to droop, and it almost feels like it's alive in that moment. On the whole, I would highly recommend this, especially at the low price point compared to other professional name brand gimbals. The material quality is good, the motors seem alright, and it does its job. I have a couple minutes of footage that you can watch to see just how stable the footage looks, so you can see some of the things like how it looks like it's in fast forward when I'm moving quickly. Something to keep in mind, look at the upper left and right hand corner of the screen. Sometimes you'll see the propellers where it looks like the left one is lower than the right one, or vice versa, or sometimes they're both very high up or very low down, and whenever you see that, that's the camera rotating independently of the quadcopter. With that said, I hope you enjoy, and hope to see you next time. So if you get a kick out of watching these videos, I'd like to ask you to stop for a minute and consider buying a shirt. I've been making shirts in Photoshop for a couple weeks now, and some of them are pretty artsy, some of them are pretty much ads for my website, but each of them, it's got a little bit of my own artistic touch to it. If you like them, please consider picking one up. If you can't do that, I always appreciate a comment, like, or subscribe on these videos. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day.